Hi budding engineers, welcome to Structure Engineering Lectures and welcome to the new playlist on the design of steel structures conforming to IS 800 2007 limit state method. In today's class we shall see the design of gazetted base. Right? These are the designs of the column bases as well as one problem with welded connections wherein the gusset plate is connected to the face of the column as well as to the toe of the column or to the end of the column, right? Like this. Even this one, right? Or even in the previous class, we have seen the design of the column bases, slab bases like this, right? Wherein we have seen both the bolted as well as the welded connections. I hope you are enjoying the discussions. If you are really enjoying the discussions, don't forget to click like, share, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Now let's see the brief profile of the speaker. That is, I, Dr. D. Rupesh Kumar, obtained my BTech in civil engineering from Nagarjuna University in 1994, MTech in structural engineering from JNTU Hyderabad in 2000, and PhD in structural engineering from JNTU Hyderabad in 2009. Presently, I am working as a professor of Department of Civil Engineering, University College of Engineering, Osmania University, Hyderabad, Telangana State. I have an experience of 27 years, of which 7 years is in industry and 20 years is in teaching and research at graduate and postgraduate levels. My research areas include reinforced cement, concrete designs, steel structural designs, structural analysis, freight element analysis, earthquake engineering, bridge engineering, structural optimization. I published 45 research papers in international as well as national journals and conferences, organized 3 international conferences and 11 national conferences and workshops, attended 43 workshops, visited 2 countries, and delivered 13 guest lectures and edited 2 books, supervising 14 PhD research scholars and supervising 30 ME theses. I am actively involved in various consultancy works that are offered by the department, completed over 750 design proof checks and 150 plus designs of the RCC, steel, composite, low-rise, high-rise, multi-story buildings as well as road and rail bridges. Now, before we see the actual discussion, student, let us see what will be seeing in this today's class. We will be discussing the 2 problems like this, right? Whereas the second problem what we will be discussing is that of the welded gusseted base, student, in which in this case we will not be using the angles, right? We will not be using the angles like this, right? Will not be using the angles, only will be using the gusset plates are that of the bracket plates, right? Gusset plates are that of the bracket plates like this only, right? Therefore, when even now we can see that uh, the gusset plate is connected to the flange, which is right to the flange, and now even in the other case we can see that the gusset plate is connected to the end of the flange, right? End of the flange to end of the flange, right? Both of these problems will say, right? Whereas in the first case, if at all heavy movement is there, that is how it will be connected to the end of the flange, right? To the flange itself, right? Therefore, this is a major axis, x axis. Hence, if heavy bending moment is there about x axis, then this arrangement is advisable. If the movement is more about the minor axis, therefore y axis the minor axis. Therefore, in such a case, this second arrangement means they are connected to the end of the columns, end of the flange of the column, or to the toe to toe of the columns, right? Column flanges, right? Like this. That and this is how now I'm showing these are the gusset plates which are welded to the column flanges, right? Now, or even let us say another schematic, student, right? This is another schematic. Just wait for a moment, right? This another schematic is like this. Not this, right? I'll go to another schematic wherein this way is in right? The last schematic is this one, right? This is how the gusset plates are welded. These gusset plates are welded touching the flanges, as well as even we don't have along the flanges, but they are also across the flanges. Both the arrangements are there, which are also anchored by means of 4 plus 4, 8 number of bolts. 8 number of bolts, right? Now let us move quickly to this second problem, which is a welded gusseted base. Sorry, student, right? Let us see this problem at a quicker pace, right? Now move to the design of welded gusseted base, right? Let us see the problem that at quicker pace, right? A column ISHB 350 at 661.2 Newton per meter carries an axial compressive load, which is already a factor load of 1700 kilonewton. Actually this is the same previous problem right? For the same previous problem, what I have designed as a bolted gazetted base. I am trying to design a welded gazetted base, right? Same is the data and same is the column, right? Design a suitable welded gazetted base. Please make note, it is a welded gazetted base. If the base rests on M15 grade concrete, same previous data, but if the two gazette or bracket plates are attached to the outer edge of the column and fillet welded, and the second bit is that if the two gazette plates are attached to the face of the column and fillet welded, use Fe410 grade steel and the shop weld for connection of the column plane with that of the gazette plate, and field weld. There is another weld, right? Field weld for connection of the gazette plate with that of the base plate. Please make it, right? Actually, this data, whatever that same previous problem is the same data. Hence, I will not go at a lengthier page there for the given data. That for Fe410 grade steel, Fe is equal to 410 Newton per meter square and Fi is equal to 250 from the same previous problem, and for the same problem also, even from IS 800 2007, right? From table 5, page number 30, the partial safety factors. Now let me go to this page number 30 because we are not seeing this side. Page number 30, right? Yes, right? Page number 30. Yes, page number 30. Therefore, there I will have the partial safety factors, right? Gamma m0 is equal to 1.1 for the steel, as well as gamma mw is equal to 1.25 for the steel, whereas for the bearing bolts, gamma m is equal to 1.25, and for the welds, for the shop welds it is 1.5, whereas for the field welds it is 1.5. Therefore, just noted down that data student, right? Then even from class from IS 800 2007 class 7.4.1, right? For M20 grade, sorry, here the grade of the grade of the concrete is M15 grade itself, right? Not M20 student. I'm sorry, right? Therefore, from class 7.4.1, page number 46. Page number 46 of same IS 800. Let's go to the page number 46. Right now, for the column basis, code says that the permissible bearing stress should not exceed 0.6 FCK, but we have already seen as per IS 456, it should not more than 0.45 FCK. Therefore, I am taking from IS 456 only, because 0.45 is much less than that of the 0.6. Hence, if I use lesser bearing stress, I get more area. Hence, as per IS 800, the permissible bearing stress is about 0.6 multiplied by 15, 9 Newton per meter square. Right? Whereas as per IS 456, 0.45 multiplied by 15, 6.75 Newton per meter square. Same previous data, right? Now, and also we have seen this for ISHB 350 in the previous problem, that depth of the section, right? The depth of the section is equal to 350 and width of this flange is equal to 250, and this thickness of the flange is equal to 11.6 and thickness of this web is equal to 8.3, and also it is subjected to a factor load of 1700. That is the given data. Now, what is now I am trying to do is the first bit, two gusset plates are attached to outer edge of the column like this. You please see that these are attached to outer edge of the column and fillet welded, right, like this, to the outer edge, to the outer edge. Or let me show this, right, assuming that these are the outer edges, right, outer edges, right, and now I have, right, to the outer edges, right, this it is attached, it is attached, right, or let me show like this, right. Therefore, attached to the outer edges, right, like this, right, to the outer edges. I'm showing the front view as well as that are the plan view, right. Or the second case is that they are attached onto the flanges itself, right, That we'll see in the next view, right. And so there is a in plan as well as in the side view, right. Or let me show that schematically also using. Yes, this one, right, like this, right, to the outer edge, right. These are the gusseted plate or bracket plates attached to the outer edge of the column, and if need be, another bracket plate is also attached in the other direction. Generally, this is required because so as to maintain the perfect contact between the base plate as well as the concrete concrete because of the bending moment. Because of the bending moment, if, this may be subjected to a tensile forces, then it may lose the contact in this zone. Hence, in order to keep that in perfect contact, these dotted bracket plates are bracket plates are that of the gusset plates in the transverse direction, or that is how now along the x direction also will be provided. Now please see that now we are providing in the first case the gusset plates are provided at the ends of the columns, or from the toe of the column flange to toe of the column flange along the YY axis. In the next problem, next bit we will see they are also provided on the column flanges along parallel to XX axis, right? Therefore, here in this case, if at all movement is heavy about this YY axis, then this type of arrangement will be done, right? This type of arrangement will be appropriate, right? Once I examine this student, just I have shown the 3D view as well as the plan view. Now, in the previous problem, we already got. Let us see the first subheading as design of base plate, right? In the previous one, I already elaborately explained that area of the base plate required P is equal to A is equal to P divided by W. Therefore, 1700 multiplied to 10 power 3 divided by 6.75. In the previous one also we got 25.19 10 power 4 mm square. However, now I'm assuming the thickness of this gusset plate, right? TG should not be less than the thickness of the flange, 11.6 or say 12 mm. However, I advise that don't use this 12 mm. Let us proceed with the 15 mm. Later on, I'll show that this 12 mm is not sufficient, right? Willfully I am doing that, right? Hence, the minimum width of this base plate B is equal to, you please see from this schematic, that it is equal to this 250 plus this 12 mm plus this 12 mm. This is the minimum width, right? B is equal to 250 plus 12 mm, or say 274. However, or say 400 mm. Therefore, if I say 400 mm, now I'll get what is that remaining distance is equal to 400 minus 250 is equal to 75, and 75 is the net cantilever from the end of the column flange, or from the toe. It is 75 mm is the net cantilever position. Hence, the length of the base plate required, L required is equal to area divided by base width provided, 25.100 power 4 divided by 400 provided already, right? Like this, right? Therefore, I require approximately 630 mm, or say 630 mm. Hence, provide a base plate of size 630 mm length by 400 mm width as shown in this figure, right? Therefore, this is as shown in the figure, right? Even in the side view, if I see this, in the elevation, if I see this width 630 is seen, but in the side view, in the elevation, what I can see is the thickness of this flanges, which are 11.1, and this entire width is equal to 350 mm, here to 350 mm, right? To which this gusset plate is attached, whose width is varying from 350 mm to that of the 630 mm over a slant edge or sloping edge. That we'll see right now. Once I examine that, now let us see next. What is that area provided? Area of the base plate provided is equal to 630 A pro is equal to 630 multiplied by 425.2 10 power 4 mm square, which is just greater than 25.19. Almost sharing the same into 10 power 4 mm square, the same area. Therefore, it is okay. Provided is almost okay. Hence, okay. But as a student, don't provide this much of small area. Student, just provide at least some 5 to 10% more, right? 5 to 10% more, or say 650 by some 400, or say 650 by 450. That would be better, right? Rather than providing this much of small increase, right? Now, once I have fixed the size of the first subheading, I have fixed the size of the base plate. Now, I want to find out what is the thickness. What is the thickness of this base plate? What is the thickness of this base plate? Right? What is the thickness of this base plate? Therefore, now for which what now I'll do is what is the actual bearing pressure in the concrete? W is equal to actual factored load divided by actual area provided. 1700 power 3 divided by 25.2 10 power 4 mm square. That works out say 6.746. MPa, which is just less than the permissible value of 6.75 as per IS 456. I am taking as per the IS 456 6.75. right, for M15 grade concrete. Therefore, it is okay. Hence, it is okay. Now, I'll say that critical section distance for the cantilever movement at section XX. In the previous one, also shown that at the toe of the column, like this, right? At this toe of this column, right? This cantilever projection is how much? That now works out, say, a value. C1 or say C is equal to 400 minus 250 divided by 275, that already shown here, right? This is 75, that projection 75. Hence, later the thickness of the base plate is equal to TB mm. Hence, the maximum bending moment or factor bending moment is mu is equal to W C square divided by 2, or say W multiplied by 6.746 multiplied by 75 whole square by 2. It works out, say, approximately 18,973 Newton mm. However, we already seen in the previous one that the design moment capacity of the base plate as per class 8.2.1.2 of page number 53. Therefore, now equating that to this maximum bending moment. Therefore, 45.45 TB square Newton mm is equal to 18,973. Therefore, the thickness of the base plate required is equal to 20.42. However, the next thickness that is available is 22 or say 25. That is left to you. Therefore, I am saying 22 mm. Hence, even this 20.42 should be greater than that of the thickness of the plane 11.2. Therefore, it is okay. Hence, or say 22 mm. Hence, provide a base plate of size 630, right, length and 400 mm width and 22 mm thick. 22 mm thick as shown in the figure, right? That is how just now fixed this design. First component design of the base plate as 630 by 400 by 22. You please see here this dashed line indicates that of the base plate, right? 22 mm. That first component design is over, right? I hope you understood the design of the base plate. Then next component design is that of the design of the gusset plate. Design of the gusset plate only, right? Therefore, the thickness of the gusset plate should not be less than the thickness of the plane, hence should not be less than 11.6 or say 12 mm. But don't proceed with 12 mm, that will fail. Obviously, now let me show, right? However, once I say this 12 mm, is it okay, right? Check for buckling of the compression edge of the gusset plate, right? Check for buckling means whether this freestanding part, it's already welded at the base, as well as here also it is welded, but therefore this is freestanding, right, which is subject whether it can buckle under the compression load or not, whether it can buckle, whether that can buckle like this or not, right? That is what the check I am doing over this freestanding length or slant or inclined length. Therefore, now I'll find out what is the stress ratio factor as per the code. Epsilon is equal to 250 divided by Fi, but already we have used a steel of Fi is equal to 250. Hence, the stress ratio factor itself is 1, and the length of the gusset plate between the column flanges is equal to 250. Please see this. Right? This itself is 350 student, right? 350, right? Whereas this is 250, right? Therefore, now that is equal to 350. Therefore, D divided by thickness of the gusset plate. Gusset plate thickness is equal to 12 mm, and this is equal to 350, right? Or what I am trying to do, let me show this, right? Therefore, even whether this part, whether will it buckle, right? This part which is already welded to this, whether it will buckle or not, right? First part, even I'll also check whether this freestanding part will also buckle, whether it will bend. Buckle means will it bend or not, right? About the weak axis, right? Like this, about this weak axis only, right? About this weak axis, right? Right? Hence, that check I am doing. Hence, the first instance, now I get this d by tg is equal to 29.16. However, as per this IS 800 2007 table 2, let me go to the table 2 page number 18, student. Table 2 page number 18. Let me go to the page number 18. Yes, and then page number 18, right? Now for axial compression due to bending, right? Internal elements of the compression plane, you please see this, right? Internal elements for the compression plane, compression due to bending. Therefore, B by thickness of the plane or D by thickness of the plane, right? For a class 1 or plastic plastic section, class of the section is plastic section, then 29.3 epsilon. If it is compact class 2, then 33.5 epsilon. If it is class 3 semi-compact, then 42. Generally we will say that it is a totally plastified section, right? 29.3 epsilon. Therefore 29 multiplied by 1 itself is 29.3. However, I got 29.16 by assuming total plastified section 29.3, just less than, right? Therefore, almost we can say that this gazette plate itself is totally plastified, right? Hence, it is okay. Hence, it is okay. If it is not okay, then there is no other option but you increase the thickness of this gazette plate. That's why I told, right? Here, I am okay, but let us check the check for outstand of the gazette plate from the column plane, whether we already checked this first part, whether this will buckle or not, or the second one, whether this will buckle or not. Therefore, that is given in the form of the outstand check as per the code. Hence, substituting into this, now I get the outstand of the gazette plate from the column plane is equal to L minus D divided by 2, right? That length is equal to 630 minus 350 divided by 2 is equal to 140. This one, right? This is 630. This is 630 minus 350 divided by 2. It works out as 140. Once I get that horizontal distance, right? I got this horizontal distance in plan 140. Let me show this right here. I got 140. Right? This is 140. Right? This width is equal to 140. This is this horizontal distance is equal to 140. Right? Even what is that height? Height. Right? Now. Height of this gazette plate, right? Now I'm assuming that the gazette plate height is 200 mm. Now let me go to this schematic student. I'm just assuming to start with the height of the gazette plate is equal to 200 mm. This total height. Therefore, if that is 200, therefore, whereas slowly decreasing to from flange, from top of the flange to over a distance of 100 mm at 100 mm. Therefore, this is 100 mm and remaining height is equal to 100 mm, right? Or even now I'll say that if not 200 mm, I'll say 210 mm. But let us proceed with the 200 mm assumption, right? Therefore, if I assume 200 mm, 200 minus 100, therefore that vertical height is equal to 100 mm and horizontal distance, this horizontal distance is equal to 140 this and vertical height is equal to 100 mm. Therefore, what is this inclined or slant inclined edge of this outstand is equal to, which will be buckling like this, right? Which is prone to buckling is equal to x0 is equal to 140 square plus 100 mm square, which works out say 172. Therefore, the permissible outstand from IS 800 2007 class 8.7.1.2, page number 65. Let me go to that page number 65 of IS 800 student, page number 65. Right? 65, right? And then that stiffener designs, right? Whether stiffness is needed or not, beyond which stiffness are needed, right? However, now code says that outstand of the web stiffener, when the outstand of the web is between 14 Tg multiplied by epsilon and 20 Tg multiplied by epsilon, the stiffener design should be on the basis of the core design with an outstand of 14 Tg multiplied by epsilon, where Tg is the thickness of the stiffener or that of the gazette plate. Therefore, if it is less than 14 Tg multiplied by epsilon, no stiffener is needed. Therefore, whether the stiffener is needed or not, let me check. Therefore, otherwise we will provide the stiffener. That's it, right? Therefore, the maximum permissible outstand is equal to 14 multiplied by Tg. Thickness of the gazette plate is already assumed as 12 mm multiplied by 1 is the epsilon. Stress ratio is equal to 1. Therefore, 14 multiplied by 12 is equal to 168. However, this is less than the actual slant length is equal to 172. Therefore, it is not okay. Therefore, if it is not okay, there is no other option but to increase this thickness of the gazette plate from 12 mm to 15 mm. That I already want in the initial stage itself. Therefore, if I increase, because it is not okay, now I am increasing. Just I wanted to optimize the section, but it is failing. Therefore, it is not acceptable. Otherwise, if you want to provide with the 12 mm, then you also can provide another stiffener plate. Therefore, I don't want to do that. Hence, increasing this thickness, gusset plate thickness to 15 mm, the permissible outstand is equal to 14 multiplied by 15 is equal to 210, which is much less than the actual slant length 172 only, right? The actual slant length is equal to 172 only, right? This one here from end of this toe to this, because this height is equal to 100 mm, this height is equal to 100 mm, right? Therefore, whereas permitted is equal to 210, therefore it is okay. Hence, provide a gusset plate of height 200 mm, 200 mm, sorry 210 height at the column flange, and reduce it gradually to 100 mm towards the edges of the base plate as shown in this figure, not 200 mm, right? The 200 mm is now not okay. Therefore, that is a 210 slowly reducing up to 110 mm, right? Later on 100 mm is this pure vertical part, just what I was shown, right? As shown in this figure, right? Therefore, the design of the gusset plate is also over. The first component was the design of the base plate is already over. The second one is the design of the gusset system or gusset plate is over. Now, the third component is the welded connection only, right? This weld is equal to how much, right? Which is now shown here with the dotted, right? Connecting the flanges with that of the gusset plate, as well as connecting the gusset plate with that of the base plate, both, right? That now I will design both of these, right? These designs are now left, right? And so let us go to this design first, right? Next heading is the design of welded connection of the column flanges with gusset plate. Please make a note, column flanges with gusset plate, right? Assuming the column end, the base plate and gusset plate are machined, that already assumed in the previous case, right? No load need to be transferred by the gusset system, but nevertheless we'll assume that 50% load will be transferred by the direct bearing as well as 50% by the connections. Therefore, the load for the design of the connection is equal to 1700 by 2 means 1500, 1700 by 2, 850, that divided by 2, or say 425 need to be transferred by these welds, right? Now, therefore, the length available to accommodate this weld is equal to 2 times the height. Let us see this. Let us see. I have the 2 times the height here, right? Like this, right? Therefore, here one height as well at the other end, right? Here, right? This is how one height as well as at the other end another height, right? Like this, another height. Therefore, 2 multiplied by 210. Now, already provided 210. Therefore, sorry, not 100 student, right? 210, right? Hence 420 mm. Let us try with the 8 mm fillet weld. Therefore, the size of the fillet weld is equal to 8 mm, and as per the code IS 800 class 10.5.3.1, page number 78. Let me go to the page number 78 of IS 800, 78, right? No, not this one, right? 78. Going to that. Therefore, for the fillet weld, what the code says is that for the fillet weld, the size of the weld we already taken. Hence, the effective throat thickness of the fillet weld should be taken as 0.7 times the size. Hence, 0.7 multiplied by the size. It now works out, say 5.6 mm is the effective throat thickness TT. And also from the same IS 800 class at 10.5.7.1, page number 79. The next page, let me go to the next page, student. What the code says is that for the fillet designs, even you can see the constant K is equal to 0.7 if the fusion phases are between 60 to 90 degrees, right? Then we will know the fusion phases are 90 degrees, then also the K is equal to constant is equal to 0.7, right? Whereas now if I go to this, we are using the shop welds, fillet welds. Therefore, the design strength of the fillet weld FWD is equal to FWN divided by gamma MW, where FWN is equal to FU divided by root 3, and MW is gamma MW is equal to partial safety factor, right? That is how from class 10.5.7.1.1, and And also from the next codal specification, head of class 10.5.9, stresses due to individual forces such as compressive or tensile forces or that of the shear forces alone. The stress in the weld, right, either FA or Q or as appropriate should be the load divided by that effective area of that weld, length of that weld multiplied by effective throat thickness TT, effective throat thickness TT. Therefore, I just recall these formulae from IS 800 student, right? Hence, I am substituting into that, right? This is the first formula. FWD is equal to FU divided by root 3 multiplied by gamma MW, and also simultaneously FWD is equal to PU divided by LW multiplied by TT. Therefore, equating both of these, now I get 410 divided by root 3 multiplied by 1.25 is equal to 425 kilonewton. Load is transferred multiplied by 10 power 3 divided by length of the weld required. LW multiplied by 5.6 effective throat thickness. Hence, length of the weld required LW is equal to approximately 401 mm, which is greater than, actually we already provided 420 mm student. Please make a note that height is equal to 210. Please make a note. It is already 210. Therefore, it's already okay. It's already okay. But nevertheless, what now I'll do is I'll increase the height of the if I don't increase, if I say just 200 mm, it is not okay. It is not okay. Therefore, what now I'll do is hence increase that 200 to 210. Therefore, in such a case, 401 is much less. Length of the weld required is equal to 401 approximately, which is less than. If you increase to 210, it is less than 420. Therefore, it is okay. Hence, now previously, though I have designed this height as 200 mm, because the 200 minus 100 itself was only 100. Now I am forced to increase from 200 to 210 this height, 210 to this height. Right? Therefore, there is the connection between the column end and that of the gusset plate. The next connection is, once I conclude that, hence provide 8 mm fillet weld. Hence to provide 8 mm fillet weld, right? Like this, right? This is how this 8 mm. Here you provide 8 mm fillet weld, right? Here as well as at the other end, right? Means here as well as here, right? Now, once I do that, now I need to do this. This next connection is the connection of the welded connection between the gusset plate and that of the base plate. This along this line, right? Hence, let me initiate that at a quicker pace. Now, welded connection between the gusset plate with that of the base plate. However, we please see that here what is given in the problem is that use the field weld. Hence, for field weld, the partial safety factor is equal to 1.5. Then, let me go to this. What is the length available for the weld? Length available for the weld is equal to LW. LW is equal to 630 on this one end. Let me go to this schematic, right? 630 is easily available, right? Whereas on the other end, I can't weld between this gap, this much of small gap. However, I can weld here on the rear side. Therefore, 630 on the front side, on the rear side only 630 minus 350. 630 minus 350, right? From this schematic or from this figure. Therefore, it now works out, say, a value of 1820 mm. Therefore, the design load PU is equal to 425 kilonewton. 425 kilonewton is already we already obtained. Hence, assuming 5 mm fillet weld, S is equal to 5 mm, the effective throat thickness T is equal to 0.7 multiplied by S. S is equal to 5 mm. Therefore, it works out, say, 3.5. Hence, the design strength of the fillet weld FWD is equal to PU divided by LW multiplied by TT. Means 425 into 10 power 3 divided by LW multiplied by 3.5 should be equal to FU divided by root 3 gamma MW, or 410 divided by root 3 multiplied by 1.5. Just now we have seen in the previous subheading. Therefore, the length of the weld required LW is equal to around 770 mm, but what is already available is 1820. Therefore, it is okay. It is okay. If it is not okay, what you can do, student, right? Let us say if this value is equal to 1970. However, I cannot increase more than 1820. There is no other option but to increase the size from 5 mm to maybe 6 mm or 7 mm as appropriate. Right? That is how you can increase, so that this this length of the weld will be decreased, right? And therefore, and is it is okay, hence provide 5 mm size fillet weld as shown in the figure. And also, as the base plate is not also subjected to any bending moment, only pure axial load is there, hence no tension is happening at the intersection of the base plate with that of the pedestal. Hence just provide 220 mm anchor bolts to keep the base plate in position only, like this, right? To just keep in the base plate in the position only, no design is required, right? Let me show that, right? No design is required for that, right? That is how, means I'm just providing here one as well as 220 mm nominal bolts, or if you don't want, you may provide say 1 2 3 4, right? 1 2 3 4, that is left to you, right? As shown in this figure. That is how the final design should. That is how the schematic also, right? Schematic as well as this one is what the 3D schematic what I am showing, right? Just have provided here one anchor bolt as well as one anchor bolt there, or if you don't want, you may provide 1 2 3 4 anchor bolts, 4 anchor bolts like this, right? As shown in this figure, right? As shown in this figure, right? Now once I do that, let me see that next bit, right? If the gusset plate is attached to the column flange itself, this second bit, right? Second bit, right? Therefore, let me see this second bit, student, right? Now that is how the second bit or actually there is a third problem, right? Or I am saying this next problem for the same problem. If redesign, this is the third problem, right? Redesign, if the two gusset plates are attached to the face of the column, and fillet welded. That is the third problem, right? Hence, now that is how they are provided to the face of the column itself, and they are provided by means of the fillet welds, right? That is how in plan I section it is connected by means of a gusset plate on either side along the length direction, and they are fillet welded, right? And even in the front view, you can see this. Okay? Now let us see, as we have discussed in the previous problem. Now first I'll design the base plate. First I'll fix the size. Within that I'll fix the size. Therefore, first bit is that what's the area of the base plate? A recu is equal to 25.19 into 10 to the power 4 mm square. We have already seen in the previous problem. Therefore, the thickness of the gusset plate TG is 15 mm. That also we assumed, which is greater than 11.6 mm. Therefore, okay. Hence, the minimum width of the base plate B is equal to H plus 2G. Please see this, that right here 350 plus 15 plus 15. It works out say 380 mm or say 420 mm. Right? Therefore, this is how I am saying 420 mm. If I am providing 420 mm, now I do have the net cantilever projection is equal to 420 minus 350 is equal to that divided by 2. That works out say 70 divided by 2 means 35 here and 35 here. Right? These are two 35s. That is how the net cantilever projections from the end of the column flange. Like this, right? From end of the column flange. Right? From end of this column flange. Right? Like this. Is the net cantilever projection, right? Net cantilever projection from the end of the column flange, right? Now next, once we see this, now I'll say that hence provide once I say this width is equal to 420, therefore the length of the base plate required L requ is equal to A requ divided by B, therefore 25.19 10 to the power 4 divided by 420 is equal to 600 mm. Therefore, I'll say 600 mm only. Or you may say more, or say 650. Therefore, let's provide a base plate of size 600 mm by 420 mm. Therefore, this is of 600 mm by 420 mm as shown in this figure, right? Even in the front view, it can be seen that it is 600 mm and this width of the flange is equal to 250. Therefore, that remaining cantilever projection is equal to 600 minus 250 is equal to 175 mm, which will be used for calculation of the slant length or inclined length. That we'll see, right? Therefore, these are the two cantilever projections. One is 175 mm and another is 35 mm. Therefore, 175 will govern the design, not 35, right? Now, however, once we provide now area of the base plate provided A pro is equal to 600 multiplied by 420. Here also 25.2 10 to the power 4 is provided, which is just greater than 25.19 10 power 4 mm square. Therefore it is okay. Then once I fix the size, then let me design for the thickness also. For the actual bearing area, actual bearing pressure in the concrete, in the pedestal, in the concrete pedestal is equal to W is equal to P divided by A 1700 10 to the power 3 divided by 25.2 10 to the power 4, or it works out say same as if in the previous problem 6.746 Newton per mm square, which is less than permissible value of 6.75, hence okay. Once it is okay, then you need not increase the size of the base plate. Otherwise, if it is not okay, let us say if you got 8.746, which is less than 6.75, then you increase the denominator, means increase the either length or that of the width or both of the base plate. That is how you please remember, student, right? Hence, once it is okay, then the critical section distance for the cantilever movement, at a distance of xx from the flange of the column, just now I have shown this cantilever projection is equal to 35 mm, right? Now once I see that, right, 420 minus 350 divided by 2 is equal to 35 mm, and let the thickness of the base plate is equal to TB mm, hence the maximum bending moment mu is equal to W multiplied by C square, means C square by 2, or 6.746 multiplied by 35 square divided by 2, which is around 4132 Newton mm, right? That should be equated to the design movement capacity of the base plate as per the class 8.2.1.2. Just now we have seen from page number 53 of IS 800. Therefore, equating both of these, now I'll get 1.2 Fy divided by gamma m naught Ze, or I am calculating for 1 unit width bt square by 6, where b is equal to 1 mm. Therefore 1.2 multiplied by 250 divided by 1.1 multiplied by 1 unit width multiplied by tb square, thickness of the base plate, whole square divided by 6 is equal to, for equilibrium, 45.45 tb square Newton mm. Equating one with the other, now I'll get tb is equal to 9.53 mm. However, it should not be less than 11.6 mm, right? Similarly, right, now I have just because this base plate is bending about this 420 mm width, student, please see, right? However, this base plate will not be bending about 600 mm length, right? Even though there is a cantilever projection of 175 mm, student, right? Please make a note. Though there is a cantilever projection of 175, right? Because the gusset base is welded to the base plate. Obviously, it is stiffened. Therefore, this base plate will not bend about 600 mm width. However, that will only be bending about this 420 mm width. Please make a note, over a cantilever projection of 35 mm only. Generally, students will be getting doubt why though it is 175 mm, though bending moment is more, why it is not about that? Means yes, it will not bend because it is that base plate is stiffened. By means of this gusset plate. Please make a note. Whereas this 35 mm is unstiffened length, whereas this 175 mm is already stiffened by means of this gusset plate, right? Therefore 175 should not be considered because that is already stiffened. Therefore 35 mm, equating this, now I'll get the thickness I got of this gusset plate, that base plate is equal to 9.53 mm. However, it should not be less than 11.6 mm. Therefore, R say 16 mm. Therefore, hence provide a base plate of 600 mm length by 420 mm with a thickness of 16 mm as shown in the figure. Right now, once I do conclude this design of the base plate size as well as the thickness, now I'll move to the next design as design of the gusset plate or gusseted system, right? Therefore, the thickness of the gusset plate TG should not be less than thickness of the flange plate 11.6. Therefore, R say 15 mm. Already in the previous problem also provided 15 mm like this, right? Therefore, then in such a case, let me check for buckling of the compression edge of the gusset plate. The stress ratio is already 1. We have seen epsilon is equal to 250 to 251. Since since the gusset plate is already welded to the column flange through and through of the width, the buckling need not be checked. Or let me show this schematic that I already told, right? You please see that here, whether over 350 mm will it buckle? No, because already welded to the flange. Therefore, this plate, gusset plate, will not be buckling. However, only the buckling will happen over this freestanding inclined length or over this slant length, right? Therefore, let me calculate that next, right? Next subheading, right? Next subheading, right? Sorry, next subheading is this one, right? Next, check for the outstand of the gusset plate from column flange, so that whether that will buckle or not, that much of free standing length, right? Therefore, the outstand length of the gusset plate from the column flange is equal to L minus BF by 2. Please see that is 600 minus 250 by 2, like this, right? 600 minus this 250 mm, that divided by 2. Now it works out 175 mm. That already told, right? 175, right? Therefore, that slant length or inclined length of that outstand is equal to that horizontal length 175, and in the height what I am assuming is that the gusset plate overall height is equal to 150 mm, which is of height at the column flanges, and let it be reduced gradually to 100 mm towards the edges as shown in the figure. Therefore, in such a case, with this assumption, only 50 mm height is only just there here, right? This with this assumption, this remaining height is only here to here is 50 mm. This is 100 mm, right? Therefore, that overall height is equal to 150 mm. Therefore, with that assumption, now I'll get this slant length is equal to square root of 175 square plus 50 mm square, which is 182 mm, which is much less than the permissible outstand. 14 multiplied by 15, thickness of the gusset plate, 15, 210 mm. Therefore, 182 mm is less than 210 mm. Therefore, it is okay. Means this freestanding this freestanding edge of the gusset base will not buckle like this, right? In 3D plan I am showing student, right? Or right, in 3D plan also it will not buckle like this, right? Now, if this is okay, then I need to go to the design of this welded connection with that of the gusset plate with the toe of the column flange, first bit, right? Let me see that first bit as well as that of the gusset plate with that of the base plate, the second bit, right? Hence, let us see that first bit. Once I conclude that, now I'll do the welded connection of the column flanges with gusset plate. Assuming the ends as the flush, the load for the design of the connection that we already seen in the previous bit is equal to 1700 by 4. It works out as 425. But the length available to accommodate this weld is equal to LW is equal to 2 times the height plus width of the flange, right? 2 multiplied by 150 plus 250. Let me show, right? 2 multiplied by 150, 2 multiplied by, right? Or let me go to this schematic, then you will understand from it, right? Therefore, what now I'll do is that this 2 multiplied by 150 on the other end here 150, right? And right, this width, right, even I can provide right here 250 on this rear side, 150 on the other side also 150. Therefore, 150 plus 150 plus 250, it now works out a value, say 550 mm. And let us try with 6 mm size fillet weld. Therefore, if S is equal to 6 mm, then the effective throat thickness is equal to 0.7 multiplied by 6, 4.2 mm. Therefore, the design strength of the weld FWD is equal to Fu divided by root 3 gamma MW is equal to Pu divided by LW multiplied by TT. Equating both of these, 410 divided by root 3 multiplied by 1.25 is equal to 425 into 10 to the power 3 divided by LW multiplied by 4.2. Therefore, the length of the weld required, LW required, is equal to 534 mm. But what is already available is 550 mm. Therefore, it is okay. Let us say if it is not okay, student, what you can do is you increase the size of this weld from 6 mm to maybe 7 or 8 mm, so that this length will reduce from maybe 734 to maybe 534 as appropriate, right? Therefore, that is how, if it is failing, then there is no other option but to increase the size of the weld. Hence, provide 6 mm fillet weld, 6 mm fillet weld like this, right? Connecting this, you just provide 6 mm fillet weld here, as well as 6 mm fillet weld here, as well as on the rear side also 6 mm fillet weld, right? Now, or let me show in this plan also, student, right? In the plan, right? This 6 mm, right? Just bear for a moment, right? Therefore, this is how that design, what I've concluded is 6 mm, 6 mm, 6 mm, 6 mm, right? For 150, 150, and here 250 mm, right? These designs are now over. Now, next design is the design of the gusset plate with that of the base plate, right? This black line at the bottom, bottom of this one. Now I'm designing this black line, right, which is shown as 5 mm. That design I'm trying to do, right? Hence, next subheading is the design of welded connection, design of the welded connection of the gusset plate with that of the gusset plate with that of the base plate. However, for such connections, field weld need to be used. Hence, from IS 800, the partial safety factor for the field weld gamma MB is equal to 1.5. However, the length available for the welding LW is equal to 2 multiplied by 600 plus 600 minus 250. Let me see from this, right? Therefore, 200. Right, this is from this end. Totally, I can do welding for 600. Whereas from the other end, I can't. Right? I can do only for this much. Right? And at the other end also same, right? Therefore, that is what I'm just calculating. I'm calculating, hence that now works out. So a value, right, is equal to 600 from front end, from the rear end, right? Deducting one width of the flange, 600 minus 250, right? 350, right? That on either on two sides. Therefore, that now works out, say 1900 mm. However, the design load itself is 425 mm. However, assuming 5 mm size fillet weld, S is equal to 5 mm, the effective throat thickness is equal to 0.7 multiplied by 5, 3.5 mm. Therefore, the design strength of the weld FWD is equal to, as if in the previous case, 410 divided by root 3 multiplied by 1.5 is equal to 425 into 10 power 3 divided by LW multiplied by 3.5. Therefore, the length of the weld required LW is equal to 770 mm. However, our length of the weld which we already provided is already 1900 mm. Therefore, it is okay. This length provided is already okay. Hence, provide 5 mm fillet weld, and that is how the design connecting the weld between this between this gusset plate with that of the base plate. Or let me show in this figure also, student, right? Like this, right? This, right? 5 mm here, right? This black line on the top of this gusset plate is seen, actually is not top, right? Connecting both, right? On the top of this thick line is shown, which is 5 mm black line, right? That is how this of length 600 mm, right? Whereas on the rear side, this is 600 minus this 250 mm. Here I can do welding, here I can do welding, right? That is how the design. And also provide 220 here 120 mm anchor bolt, or if you don't want, even you can put 1 2 3 4 anchor bolts, so that the base plate will be in position when it is applied with the axial load. And because there is no bending moment acting on the base plate, there is no tension, even just 220 mm anchor bolts are sufficient. If it all is subjected to bending moment, then at least 4 20 mm anchor bolts may be required, or whether 4 or not, that will be decided from the design tension in the anchor bolts. However, it is not subjected to the tensile forces, hence I am not designing that. Hence just provide 220 mm anchor bolts as shown in this figure. That is how the second design also, student. Right? That is how the design, student, right? Or let me see this schematically, right, like this. Just now designed and provided, right? Just one bolt here, and the other side one bolt, right? However, what I am showing here is the butt weld, but however we will be providing the fillet weld, right? Fillet weld here, even even the fillet weld at the bottom, right? At the bottom, right? That is also a design student. I hope you enjoyed the discussions what we had in today's class. Therefore, if you have really enjoyed the discussions, right, don't forget to click like, share, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll meet in the next class with the design of laterally supported and laterally unsupported beams, right? Till then, bye bye students.